The Sacramento Kings are a cute story, but they have no chance in a best-of-7 series against the defending champion Golden State Warriors. Wrong. The Golden State Warriors have all the experience and the Sacramento Kings do not. There's levels to this. Playoff basketball is a different beast. The Kings are not prepared. Wrong. Golden State Warrior fans are going to come into the Golden One Center and turn it into Chase Center 2. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Those cute story Sacramento Kings, yeah, they just beat the defending champions in Game 1. An electric atmosphere inside the Golden One Center. Kings 1, Warriors 0 in this series, and you're listening to Locked On.
You are Locked On Kings, your daily Sacramento Kings podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is that time for another episode of Locked On Kings.
Hello and welcome into Locked On Kings, your podcast hub for Sacramento Kings coverage all postseason long. First ever postseason edition of the Locked On Kings podcast, first ever playoff game in Locked On Kings history, and first playoff win. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. My name is Matt George. I have the privilege of being your host here. I'm a Sacramento sports reporter and producer for ABC 10 News, and I'm going to tell you the Sacramento Kings should be feeling extremely confident going into the remainder of the series because of how they won tonight's game given the circumstances. I'm going to dive heavy into that in just a second, but I can't not start with the atmosphere. You, Sacramento, delivered everything that I have dreamed of for the last 17 years. Everything that I have dreamed of and imagined and thought about going from my childhood through my teenage years to young adult years now and now well into my career. You delivered tonight in a way that I can't even properly put into words, and I can't even properly express my gratitude for the moments that you gave me, the moments that you gave all of us. The volume in this building was absolutely incredible, and I hope everybody who was inside the arena, outside the arena, watching from home, wherever you were watching this Kings game tonight, I hope you felt how special it was. It certainly was extremely special to me. I got here to the Golden One Center at noon today. I got here plenty early because the game was on our ABC 10 network. We had a lot of things to do, pre-game, post-game, things like that. And by the way, for those of you who watched post-game and send me messages saying congratulations or great job on our post-game show, thank you so much. That's an incredible opportunity for me, incredible opportunity for us at ABC 10 to get Kings and Warriors in this market. Of course, you know how many Kings fans are here. You know how many Warriors fans are here. It was a massive opportunity for ABC 10. I'm really proud of our team and how well we knocked it out of the park today. That being said, it was a lot of work, but I also wanted to make sure I got here early because I wanted to see the sights. I wanted to soak it all in, right? I got here, dropped off all my gear inside. I was privy to, they were going through rehearsals of the introduction sequence, right? So I got to see a little bit of what was going on, got to see the videos, got to see Slamson going up to the rafters, being pulled up all the way to the catwalk walk at the very top of the Golden One Center with a Feel the Roar banner dangling from him. I got spoiled a little bit to what it was going to look like, but still the energy that you brought, going outside and mingling with fans, going and checking out their playoff playground on David Stern Walk and just seeing everything. The city did a phenomenal job. The Sacramento Kings did a phenomenal job putting this event on. And then, of course, Sacramento Kings fans, you showed up of course, you were always going to. This night is so special. This day is so special for Sacramento Kings fans, because think of what it took for us to get here, right? Think how much we have earned this, the struggles, not just from a basketball standpoint over the last 17 years, but to nearly lose the team and to have to have this arena be built in downtown Sacramento, then for nothing but losing in this arena's history until this season. It has been a trying road, and I don't know if one playoff win and one playoff game makes up for the 17 years of frustration, but it sure as hell is a damn good start, and you people brought it in just such an amazing way. Thank you to everybody who saw me, who reached out to me, stopped me. I talked to so many of you, took pictures with so many of you. I know others of you reached out to me trying to meet up, and I didn't get to meet up with everybody. I'm really sorry for that. I hope to be able to see you later on in the playoffs or next season, whatever it may be. For all those of you who just said hi or gave me fist bumps or how much you appreciate the show, I hope you felt my appreciation back to you for just how incredible of a fan base you are, how supportive you are of Locked On Kings, and how magical, again, you made this night, made this moment, this return to the playoffs for a professional media member, someone who's very lucky and fortunate to have the position that I have, but at heart, at the core, a Sacramento Kings fan who has been in the trenches with you, suffering for the last 17 years, who has dreamed of this night. You made those dreams come true in so many ways, and I couldn't be more proud of this city. Before we move on, let's hear from head coach Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox talking about the atmosphere here inside the Golden One.
Our fans were off the charts. I mean, it was deafening in there. It was extremely loud, and so you got to take your hat off to them because they brought it. They brought it for us tonight, and you can feel the energy. My son Elijah told me when he got to the building, he texted me right before the game. He said, "Dad, the energy in the air is unbelievable," and this is before tip-off. So, I applaud our fans. We're going to need them to continue to be there for us night in, night out, because it's not easy. It's a long journey, and we just got to keep taking it one step at a time. And we need everyone behind us in Sacramento, which I feel we definitely have.
Truth be told, I actually thought it would be more Warriors fans in because I've played them 4 times a year for the last 6 years, and I've seen it. But so I think Sacramento showed out tonight. I think it was Trey walked by, and he was like, "Yo, this is the loudest arena that I've ever played in." And we've talked about that before. We know what this fan base is about and what they want to do. And like I said, we want to win for ourselves and for each other and for everybody in this organization. But doing this for the fans, just knowing the way that they support this team, through thick and thin, like through really thin. I think it's just a testament to the way they are, and it was definitely a great atmosphere tonight.
All right, so I shared with you, I said earlier, this win should make the Sacramento Kings feel very confident going into the remainder of the series. Now, I don't think the Kings should leave this building tonight going, "Oh, we're going to sweep the Golden State Warriors. We got this in the bag," because if they do, they're going to be in big trouble. And I'm almost guaranteeing you nobody in that locker room, on that coaching staff, really nobody in this building, despite the Kings winning, no fan even with as much alcohol or help in that way, as lubricated as they were, happy as they were based off of that. I even feel like even you understand like this series is far, far, far from over. However, the Kings can feel extremely confident going into the remainder of the series. Why? Because they managed to beat the Golden State Warriors in a game where Sacramento's offense did not look great. Now, the Kings still scored 126 points. They won 126-123. For clarity's sake, 126 is obviously more than their 121 points per game average they put on during the regular season. Kings came into the playoffs after having the best offense in NBA history. Of course, they were able to build upon that in their first game here in the playoffs. But I'm telling you, the Kings scored 126 points because of the pace of play of this game for both teams, not because the Sacramento Kings were shooting the basketball well. I was really concerned going into the series, and I said it time after time after time. If the Sacramento Kings do not hit their shots, they're in big trouble. I shared with you, the Kings are in control of their destiny. If they hit shots at the rate they're capable of hitting shots, they can beat the Golden State Warriors. They can beat anybody. But if they're not hitting their shots, they're really going to struggle to win because they can't necessarily rely on their defense to get them through those dry spells. Well, the Kings had a horrendous shooting start to this game. I think they missed their first 7 3-point attempts. It was actually Davion Mitchell, of all people, who hit the Kings' first 3. It was Mitchell and Lyles off the bench who got the Kings going from three-point land a little bit. The Kings went 4 of 22 in their first, so they made 4 of their first 22 three-pointers before finishing the game hitting 8 of their last 10. So they got hot at the right time, which is, of course, what matters. But a lot of those looks, especially in the first half, were great looks in the flow of the offense. I was really pleased with the shot selection of the Sacramento Kings out of the gate. Shots just weren't falling. If they were, I'm not saying the Kings would have blown this game open by any means or pulled away. They certainly would have created a lot more separation early on than they did at any point during this game. But what the Kings were able to do, they were able to weather the storm the entire night when key players and key shooters were not hitting shots. Now, the shot selection did wane a little bit. I thought the second quarter shot selection was not nearly as good as the first quarter shot selection. Credit to the Golden State Warriors defense. They were basically daring the Sacramento Kings to shoot and miss shots. They were trying to meet De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis and everybody in the paint. And for a decent stretch, it was working. But the Kings fell down by 10 two different times in this game and did an excellent job answering back, including the massive run that they put together in that third quarter when Steph Curry was on the bench. I think it was 86-76 was the score. The Warriors are up 10 in the third quarter. They look like they're in complete control. The Kings can't string together buckets. The Golden State Warriors aren't exploding on the Kings offensively, but at any moment they can really create some separation, and you just have that feeling like, oh God, this could get ugly really quickly for the Kings if they don't take control of this. Well, Steph Curry comes out of the game. The Kings go on a 15-4 run to end that quarter, end up taking a 1-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Just an amazing way to not just respond and to give the Kings a little bit of life going into the final quarter, but to get this crowd involved. Like, out of the gate, the noise that you made when the Sacramento Kings first took the floor and the noise you made during the introduction sequence is just incredible. Like, deafening, unbelievable, the amount of cowbells that were in this building. Like, y'all gave me a headache, and it's the headache I will happily accept any day of the week, right? Like, my head was ringing. It hurt. I ended up actually having to take some like Tylenol or Advil or something during the break that my partner Kevin John was nice enough to find for me and get me, because I needed it because of how loud it was in this building. But with the exception of early on, the crowd was kind of taken out of it. Like, they were waiting to pop, but the Kings just weren't hitting big shots for them to pop. So you get that third quarter run, the crowd really gets involved. In the fourth quarter, they explode as the Kings go back and forth. Look, can we be really honest about something? Domantas Sabonis wasn't good. The Sacramento Kings beat the defending champion Golden State Warriors in a game where Domantas Sabonis was not good. Never would have guessed that. He really was not good. In this game, he finished with 12 points, 5 of 7 from field goal range. Did finish with 16 rebounds. So, I mean, that's a bad stat line for Domantas Sabonis. He still did a lot of things to, of course, help this Sacramento Kings team win this game. So, we expect much better from Domantas Sabonis. I believe he's going to deliver in a much better and bigger way for this Kings team later on in this series. I do have to give the Golden State Warriors credit. I said going into this series, I had no faith in anybody on the Warriors that they'd be able to stop or disrupt Domantas Sabonis. They stopped and disrupted him in a major way in tonight's game, and I give them a ton of credit for that. The Warriors, they didn't shoot great either. So if the Warriors had shot better, this game could have gotten a lot more uglier than it was when the Kings were struggling to score. However, I will say credit to the Sacramento Kings. I thought the Kings were making the Warriors work harder for their looks, especially in the first half, than the Warriors were making the Kings. I thought the Kings' looks from the perimeter were better and more open in the first half than the Warriors were. Both sides were hitting shots. The Kings can thank the Warriors a little bit for that with their ability to stay in the game, but also it's not just hoping that the Warriors would miss, and they did. I thought the Kings defensively did what they could do to disrupt the Warriors as much as possible. I will say the Kings stayed in this game because of the foul line. They went 26 of 32 from the free throw line. Warriors went 21 of 27. If we're being honest, the Kings got the favorable whistle in this game. There are some moments Kings fans didn't like. I'm sure there are plenty of moments that Warrior fans didn't like. I thought the referees called a pretty even and pretty solid game. They weren't really a factor, which I'm really pleased with. And if any team got the advantage, if we're being honest, it was the Sacramento Kings. I mean, if we're just being real, and thankfully the Kings were able to make up for their poor outside shooting for the majority of this game by having a good shooting night, I think 81 or 82% or something like that from the free throw line. Let's talk about the arrival of the Kentucky backcourt. De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk, a combined 70 points in their playoff debuts. Fox just shined on the stage. I told you, I've been telling you, as soon as Fox gets this playoff stage, as soon as he gets to this national stage, he is going to be electric. He is going to take this team to the next level. Well, you saw 38 points in his debut. Malik Monk added 32 points, 70 points combined from the Kentucky backcourt. How are you feeling, Kentucky fans? I'm sure you had a good time, as good of a time as we did, watching the Kings explode offensively and watching those two do their thing in this game. De'Aaron was amazing. I thought it was awesome that De'Aaron not only took on the assignment of defending Steph Curry, he went toe-to-toe with Curry in terms of three-point shooting in the fourth quarter. Like, there are people watching De'Aaron Fox in this game tonight that have not watched Fox play since he was in Kentucky. And they don't know that he can shoot. And he stepped up and went 4 of 8 from three-point range in this game, put on an absolute show, hit some big threes, answering both Klay Thompson and Steph Curry's big three-point shots. I thought Fox was just excellent in this game. And, of course, offensively, what he did, he played 40 minutes, damn near played the entire second half. But De'Aaron defensively in this game was just incredible. Just incredible defensively. He did not back down from the challenge of guarding Steph Curry, even though Steph wasn't guarding him. No surprise there. That's been happening all season. Had moments guarding Andrew Wiggins, had moments guarding Klay Thompson. He took that assignment on himself and absolutely excelled. The best defense, or if not, very close to the best defense we've ever seen him play in his career, and it didn't just start in the fourth quarter. It was all game long. Here is De'Aaron Fox after the game talking about his defense.
Both ends of the
Did y'all see that clip of J.R. Smith? Talking about Delhi? Did y'all see that clip? That's just real. it's real. Obviously, I didn't guard Steph the entire game, but like most of the first quarter, most of the fourth quarter, I guarded him. That clip is real. Obviously, my team wants me to do things offensively, but and Mike talked about it as soon as he got here. He's not worried about what I can do offensively. He wants to see me be better defensively, and that's something that I want to take the challenge of doing. And I think we've all seen it in spurts, but I want to be able to do it throughout the course of a game. And playing 40 minutes, scoring 38 points is cool, but just trying to be as disruptive as possible while guarding, if not the best player in the world, the best player to ever, the jump shot wise, shoot a basketball, not just off the catch, but off the dribble. The guy's probably one of the craftiest players to ever touch the ball. Just to be able to just try to be disruptive for me, I think is the biggest step, and I think that's kind of something that I don't care to prove to anybody else, but I want to prove to myself that I can go out there and just try to hound some of the best guards in the league.
It's time for our Nissan Most Electric Player of the Week award, brought to you by the all-new, all-electric 2023 Nissan Aria. This week, it goes to Malik Monk for what he brought to the Sacramento Kings here in this game tonight. Like I mentioned, 32 points, but he's that energizer, buddy, man. I was talking to some Kings media members who were sitting courtside before the game started. I turned to them and I asked them, I was like, who do you think is the most sneaky important member or part to this series or piece in this series for either team? I got some good answers like Gary Payton, Dante DiVincenzo, Davion Mitchell. My pick is Malik Monk because of just how important he is, especially in getting the crowd involved and giving the Kings a spark and giving Kings the energy when they need to. The Sacramento Kings were in big, big trouble in this game in a lot of ways with how they were struggling to score, especially with their normally reliable starters. Malik Monk came in and said, get on my back a little bit. I'll carry us through, and myself and my Kentucky teammate De'Aaron Fox, we're going to make sure the Sacramento Kings win this game. He's brilliantly fierce, fiercely elegant, stunningly powerful, all words that describe the 2023 Nissan Aria. Packs pin your seat, power, and premium intelligence all in one EV. The all-new, all-electric 2023 Nissan Aria, the EV for people who love to drive. You can shop now at nissanusa.com. I know De'Aaron Fox had a good game, but I'm telling you right now, the Sacramento Kings starting lineup owes the bench dinner in a major way. And I'm not talking like a cheap dinner, even like a 4-star dinner. I'm talking 5-star, as nice as they can possibly find in Sacramento or in San Francisco when they head over there for Games 3 and Games 4 in Golden State. The Kings bench saved the starters, bailed their asses out in so many ways in this game, of course. Excluding De'Aaron Fox. Domantas Sabonis had 12 points. Harrison Barnes had 13 points. Kevin Huerter, 6 points. Keegan Murray, 2 points. Malik Monk, like I mentioned, had 32 points. Maybe most impressive out of that 32 is the fact that he went 14 of 14, a perfect 14 of 14 from the free throw line. Then you have Trey Lyles, 16 points, came out shooting well from three-point range when the Kings so desperately needed it, especially in the first half. He went 4 of 6 from three-point range. But what about Alex Len? Let's talk about Alex Len for a minute, because if we're being honest, the stats don't say it, but the eye test absolutely does. Alex Len outplayed Domantas Sabonis tonight. I never expected to say that. Never had that on my bingo card. Hell, we didn't even know if Alex Len was going to be getting time in this series because of how the Warriors typically play a little bit smaller. I thought this would be maybe more of a Chimezie Metu series, even though Alex Len has been getting a lot of minutes and has certainly earned this spot with how he's played to end the season. I did not think Alex Len was going to get in this series. Turns out it was the right choice by Mike Brown, at least tonight. Alex Len finished with 4 points, 7 rebounds, 1 block. Again, Not a astounding stat line by any means, but his 4 points came off 2 dunks. He was aggressive protecting the rim, aggressive grabbing rebounds. He was trying to attack the basket, setting the great screens that he normally sets. He was battling really well on the glass, not just securing his own rebounds, but boxing out and keeping the Warriors rebounders like Draymond Green and Kevon Looney off of the glass. I thought Alex Len was awesome in this game. He ended up winning the defensive player of the game chain, and rightfully so. Not only did he block shots, well, I had that one block, but he changed a lot of shots at the rim, and sometimes that is just as important. Alex Len has taken the opportunity by the horns. The answer, or rather the question that we've been asking all season long about who's the backup for the Sacramento Kings, that backup center, who's going to give Domantas Sabonis a rest. Well, not only did Alex Len give Sabonis that rest tonight, Alex Len made the most of those minutes and arguably was better in this game than Domantas Sabonis was. So the bench comes through in a major way. Trey Lyles is just so fantastic. Like, he's been struggling a little bit as of late to wrap up the regular season, but he's been so good, so consistent, so reliable for the Sacramento Kings off the bench. He does it again tonight. Pay the man this summer. That's all I'm saying. And then, I mean, what can we say that we haven't already said about Malik Monk? So the Kings bench was just excellent in this game. I'm going to share with you some stats that I think you should be really, really excited about. Stats from this game. Number one, the Kings won the battle of the boards. They won 50-41. And in the fourth quarter, arguably the most important, the Kings won the rebound battle 12-7. They did not allow the Golden State Warriors to get too many second chance opportunities, which are ways the Kings have been killed in the fourth quarter before. Plus, when they have a offensive rebounder who is as good as Kevon Looney is on the glass, the best offensive rebounder in the league, those second and third chance opportunities for a team as potent as the Warriors offensively, they can really kill you. Sacramento did a good job managing to avoid that. How about the Kings dominating in the paint of this game? They outscored the Warriors in the paint 60-44. Now, we know the Warriors are a three-point shooting team, and their three-point shooting carried them at times, but Sacramento was able to still score to an appropriate level to keep themselves in the game inside in the paint and around the paint, even with that perimeter shooting not falling, although those paint touches certainly did a lot to open up their three-point shooting game towards the end of the night. 13 Kings turnovers. Number's not great. It's not terrible. It's pretty solid, but here's the best part. The Golden State Warriors scored just 5 points off those 13 turnovers. That might be the stat of the night. Because normally if you make a mistake against the Warriors, they're going to get out and run, they're going to get a layup or a transition three. They are very lethal in the open court, and the Kings did a really good job of not letting those mistakes really kill them. Meanwhile, they turned the Warriors over 15 times and scored 16 points off of those turnovers. Those are some amazing numbers for the Sacramento Kings to hang their hats on and to pay attention to for the remainder of this series. Today's episode of the Locked On Kings podcast is also brought to you by our friends at Built Bar. If you're looking for a delicious snack but don't want all the sugar and all the calories but still want to satisfy that sweet tooth, then you need to be trying the best tasting protein bar ever. It's Built Bars. You got to try this. If you're like me and you want to make healthier lifestyle choices but you don't want to sacrifice that sweet tooth and those desserts that we love, Built says you don't have to. Just replace it with a protein bar that's covered in 100% chocolate. They're soft, they're easy to chew, they're delicious. They come in so many different flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, cookies, and cream, just to give a few examples. And I don't know how Built does this, but these bars are only 130 calories, only 4 grams of sugar, while adding a whopping 17 grams of protein. Plus, they have their granola bars. They have their marshmallow puffs, which are protein-infused marshmallows. Yeah, that's a real thing. These are all real products for you to try right now. Go to Built.com. You can order a box of whatever you want from there. Find all the different products, all the different flavors, and order a custom box. Or you can go to your local Sam's Club or Walmart, go to the pharmacy section, buy a box there, and give them a try. You won't be disappointed. Give them a try. Satisfy that sweet tooth while eating something healthy and good for you. Built.com. Even if we're feeling like we're on cloud 9 right now, Sacramento Kings fans, this series is far from over. Celebrate tonight. The Sacramento Kings are going to do it. Tomorrow, they're back in the practice facility. They're breaking down film because the Golden State Warriors, I expect, are going to come and pack a punch in Game 2. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Golden State Warriors have not gone down 0-2 at any point during the Steve Kerr era in the playoffs. That's pretty significant. This Warriors team does not lose 2 in a row to start playoffs. So for the Kings to be able to do that would be pretty incredible going into games 3 and 4 in Golden State, and maybe start to show some cracks in the defending champs' armor, or maybe sow a seed of doubt in that organization that is normally so cool, calm, and composed in whatever circumstance. So the Kings need to bounce back. They need to be ready to go. I have a feeling that they're not going to be able to get away with the shooting performance that they had tonight in Game 2, so the shots have to fall. Guys like like Keegan Murray and Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes and Domantas Sabonis, of course, are going to have to step up more. This series is going to be an absolute war. And I expect the Golden State Warriors to come out refocused, energized, maybe a little bit angry, try and punch the Sacramento Kings in the mouth. The Kings have to be ready to take that punch and counter with one of their own. But they're going to, of course, have another incredible crowd behind them. I cannot wait for Monday. If you're going to that game, let me know. I would love to see you. Of course, the atmosphere outside the arena is going to be phenomenal as well. Again, tonight was just such an incredible night, a night that Sacramento has deserved for a long time. Tonight, many dreams came true around this arena. Now the next dream is for the Kings to actually win a playoff series. 1 down, 3 to go. We'll cover the entire playoffs, the offseason, and more right here on Locked On Kings. Thank you so much for your support as always. Can't wait to have you join me on the next episode. Until then, my name is Matt George. You have been listening to the Locked On Kings podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.